Hey guys, so today we are going to be talking about the recent update on Noob Tower Defense. I know it's caused a lot of discussions with controversy and even some really high praises. So I just wanted to kind of cover it so that you guys are more informed and you guys know exactly what's going on. Before we get into the video, please like the video if you are enjoying it and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content. We are doing 4 videos now. In previous videos I know that I've said we're going to be doing 5, but just for now, while we're still trying to make the content as best as we possibly can for you all, we're going to be only doing 4. Ideally we'd like to increase it to 5 in the future, but for now we'll just focus on quality over quantity. But subscribe for more videos like this and for more series like Noob to Pros and other content guides, and make sure to share it with your friends, family, so that we can spread the word. We are trying to hit 125 subscribers at the moment for a Noob Tower Defense giveaway, so make sure that you're subscribing, and if we hit that goal then there'll be a massive giveaway in the Discord. All of the links will be below to all of my socials, the Discord channels, the Discord server, should I say, and also the VVX trading website, which is where I'm going to be looking at all values, all trading ads, and I do recommend that you do the same. So, with that out of the way, what has this update included? So, first of all, I think the best thing that we can kind of cover is the smaller side of the update, and basically just explain what's going on with it. So one of the things that they updated was the ability to rejoin. So what this means is when you are in a match and you leave because of connection issues or whatever it might be, you have a chance to get back into the match. It's still experimental at the moment, so unfortunately it might not be working at all, but depending on when you watch this video, it might already be implemented and fixed. So I think that's a really good change, in my opinion. I am going to be going through these changes, by the way, individually, giving my opinion on it, and then asking you guys what your thoughts on it at the end. But in my opinion, this is actually a really good change. I do think that rejoining the game if connection issues occur, which is very common in Roblox, to be fair, because their servers are dookie. But I think this is a really good change. I think when they implement it, it's going to be really, really good. I just hope that people don't leave and then exploit it by rejoining when they know that it's going to end. So I hope that they do something with that, where they implement the ability to not exploit it. So if it's so far into the run you can't join. I don't know, but right now I think it's a really good, really positive change. Really looking forward to when it's fully working and not in an experimental stage. The second thing that they did was merchant refresh. So as you can see, you've got refresh button now on the merchant. You can either spend gems or you can use Robux. Personally, I don't think the Robux are worth it. I think it's just a way for people to spend money and to get people to spend money. I personally wouldn't go and do it, but if you have an endless amount of Robux and you really want to be getting the potions and the mystery boxes and stuff, by all means, go ahead. But overall, I do think this is a decent change. I don't think it's going to really affect the game too much other than the potion economy, which is already kind of iffy because of the potion changes a couple of weeks ago. But I do think that refreshing it really does help, especially when you don't have anything that you want to buy. Because if I didn't want anything here and I had the coins to go and buy loads of potions, I'd probably just refresh it once or twice, considering that I do have a good amount of gems. So I don't think it's game breaking. I don't think it's necessarily like quality of life. I just think that it's a decent addition to the game to give people more options to buy stuff. Now, this is where we kind of move into what I personally believe to be the best changes in this game so far, because of just what it does for the community. And I just think that when you hear them, or if you know about them already, you probably agree with me. First of all is map difficulty polishing. So if we go over to play now, we can see that each map has a difficulty still, which is what it had before, but next to the map it has a difficulty times. Now, this doesn't necessarily show on the initial part of it, but it does increase your coin gain output when you're playing and completing the map. This was tested yesterday on my stream, so go check that out. Again, Twitch link will be in the description for all of the VODs. But we did test it out and it does work. So now you can actually go into harder maps and have a reason to play different maps other than base plate. I do think the emphasis on playing base plate hasn't changed because it's still an easy map and it's still one that you can farm coins on pretty reliably. But if you're trying to get the most out of your T5 potions and you have a team of 4 that can clear any map in the game, just because of how good their roster is, yeah, massive change. That 0.25 times increase, it does make a little difference, and you will notice the overall grind of what you're doing is decreased because of it. Overall, I'm more than happy with this. I think that they really needed this in the game. I'm baffled as to why they didn't have it at the start of the game, to be honest, considering it's such a massive deal. But I'm happy that they've implemented it now. And I'm really happy that they are thinking at least along the lines of difficulty. And it matters what you're doing. I just hope that they polish it a little bit more. And then make the harder maps maybe a little bit more rewarding. I'm not trying to be greedy or anything. But I do think that a 0.25 for extreme jump, even though it's really good, you're not really getting much different than base plate, to be honest, unless you 4 stack or 3 stack, and in which case there might be a noticeable difference. But realistically, you want reliable wins, you're going to go to base plate, right? So yeah, overall, really good change. I would probably give it like a 7 out of 10 change, maybe 8 out of 10. I didn't rank the other two. Let me just do that really quick. So the rejoin left game, I think that's like a 6 out of 10. Again, experimental, so we don't know how it's going to work. So I'm going to leave it at that 6 out of 10. The merchant refresh is like a 5, maybe a 4. It's not massive, but it's decent. But yeah, that map polishing, definitely an 8 or a 9 out, not a 9, 7 or an 8 out of 10, should I say, sorry. It's just very useful, and again, if they keep polishing it and keep changing it, you're gonna reap the rewards, especially if you're using T5 coin potions, or even any potion to be exact. Another massive change, in my opinion, and I think is probably one of the better changes, is this. So when you go into pass, you've got the option to also complete your quests, you've got the chance to complete your pass, which I've done here, but then you've also got the chance to earn crystals when you play maps. Now these crystals are pretty easy to get, and you can open this chest and you can get loads of rewards. Now, for a very long time, the only potion that you could get from this was the luck potion, and it kind of diminished its value a little bit because people could just grind like 100, 200k crystals and then go straight back into opening them, and they'd get like 5 potions, and then you would never need to craft. What they've done is they've actually changed this now. So if you go into the potions, you can see it's on a rotational basis. Now, if I buy one of these to summon, you can see, obviously I'm not going to get the potion, but if it was to land on this and then land on the potion, you would actually get whatever potion it randomizes to. And I think this adds a lot more variety to the chest. I do think it's very useful, and again, I think it's a very good change. Really powerful in terms of your T5 coin potions, which were really hard to get before, other than crafting. But again, very good change. I'd give that like a 7 out of 10, maybe an 8 even. I think it's really powerful, the change, and it really just gives you that diversity of grinding maps to get coins, but then also reaping the rewards for other potions. So yeah, massive change. I really do like it. But after saying all of this, unfortunately, there is a very controversial change that we're going to get into now, and I do think it's really worth dabbling on and touching on, as much as I don't really like to spread, like, not hate, because I'm not hating on the game. I really do like the game, and I will continue to play it for a very long time until it might maybe dies. I don't know, but a controversial change nevertheless, and I do think people need to be made aware of this, is the index. So on a basic level, this index is a really good idea. You've obviously got collection units that you have to get and you have to own. And if you own them, you get these rewards, as you can see. You get coins, you get gems, you get some experience, and you get some luck. And I'll explain luck in a minute. But the basic premise of this is you get the units, you fill the index out, and for a reward, you can get the coins, you get the gems, you get the experience for your level, and then you also get the luck for summoning. Now, this is really, really good because, again, you're going to get more coins for this. You're getting sets, which I think is really, really cool. They've implemented that. You're also getting shinies, and then you have to kill certain noobs, but they're not always guaranteed to drop the books. So basically, quick explanation of that: you go into a map, and if you have not collected that book for that unit, every time you kill it, it has a chance to drop it. And then obviously, if it drops it, you collect it, and then you get the index for it. This is really, really good, and on its own, if it functionally worked properly, and everything was obtainable, and everything was decently brought out when it initially was given to us, I reckon it would have been like a 9 out of 10, maybe 9.5. It was a really good idea, and I think it was really, really good at the intention they were going for. They just ruined it. And what I mean by this is a couple of things. So first of all, some of the units are not obtainable, as I mentioned previously. So before, what you could do is you could go into play, you could go into the endless mode on Moon, and you could click randomizer sandbox, and you could basically farm the codex. Not codex, sorry, that's AI. That was really slick, wasn't it? You can basically farm the index. So all of these noobs would have a chance to spawn randomly, and you literally just, because you have infinite money on Sandbox, you farm it. This was patched and basically got rid of it. It was gone. So they got rid of it because they thought it was too overpowered, because the sheer amount of spawn that you get, even on easy mode, was too much, and you would just complete the index for the noob part way too easy. That's fine. I agree with that. I think it was very overpowered. However, the problem comes when you have these sorts of units. So as you can see, I haven't got Chillhead. There's some that you can probably get that I haven't got yet because I haven't really put all of the possible time that I have towards it. But if I scroll down, you'll see that in this final boss section, there's a unit called Roblox. And there's a couple of units scattered around here that are also in similar boats. But basically, the reason why they're grayed out for me isn't because I can't do them, it's because they're not in the game anymore. So Roblox, I believe, was part of the 1x event, when 1x was available to get as a limited time character, which is over there, which obviously is now Brick Battler. But they removed it. The event is completely gone, and you cannot do the map that 1x was originally on. What this means is, because the randomizer doesn't work anymore, and because the map is gone, you have no possible way of killing that enemy in order to get the index for it, meaning that it's therefore unobtainable, meaning it's impossible to complete the codex 100%. Now, this doesn't really make sense to me because, again, you're getting luck for your summons. Again, I'll go into more depth in a minute, but you're getting more summons, you're getting more coins. The whole purpose is to fill the index out. And at the time of recording this video, I cannot stress this enough, this might change after this video is released, so please take this with a grain of salt for now. But currently, there is no physical way in at all to get these units, in the index for them. This is really, really, in my opinion, I'm going to be completely blunt, this is really stupid. And I do think this was not thought out, and I don't think the game was properly tested before they thought this through. I do think that the intent was for randomizer to be a thing, and I do think that the angle they were going for is for you to do randomizer to get these units. But on the sheer scale of what randomizer did, and the fact that you can endlessly summon units because of Sandbox, it ruined the experience and therefore was considered a bug and therefore patched. Now, this does need to be fixed, but this isn't even the worst of it, because this isn't the only unobtainable part of this index, and I do turn your attention to certain units in this index as well. So, if we go to the shinies, as far as I'm aware, and as far as I've been told, 1x is not a shiny, and cannot be gotten as a shiny. And this is really troubling because any unit that you cannot get a shiny of is still included in the index as an entry, therefore implying either one, you can get the shiny and they're releasing them in the future update, or two, you can't get them and they've just been mindfully added and again not tested. This is then pushed further because if you go right down to the bottom, where all of this is, there's going to be some unobtainable units, right? Which you think, oh, okay, some units you can't complete the codex for, you had to be there. The exclusive isn't really massive because you don't get progress on it like you do with the others where you get the luck. The issue is when you come to inverse mod and moderator. There is absolutely no way currently you can get these indexes unless you own this unit when this update came out. What I mean by this is because of alt abuse. So basically what people were doing was they were getting alternate accounts, they were logging on, and because there's no level cap to unlock the index, you can get it right away from level 1. So what they were doing is you leveled up loads of units to your alt to level 10 using your main account. You then trade all of your exclusive units, all of your secret units, just any unit that you currently have that the alt does not have. You leave the game with your alt. You go into a public lobby by re-entering, and then all of the current indexes that it didn't have are now filled in with the ones that you've traded. So therefore, you could literally make like 15 to 20, 30, 40, 100 if you wanted to alt accounts, transfer them over and over and over again, claim all the gold, claim all of the summon luck for that account, claim all of the experience, which doesn't really matter, but you can claim all of the gems as well. Now, the problem with this is the gems you can trade to your main account, so you could literally gem farm and get ridiculous. You could just ruin the economy with it. And then the coin issue is because you get summon luck with the index groups that you've got. If you completed them, which you would have done if you've got the units on your main account, you then have a higher chance of getting secrets, which then means that more secrets are in the loop, which means that the economy's crashing. You can see where I'm going with it, right? So they stopped this, right? They completely got rid of the trading aspect. You cannot complete your index anymore via traded units. The reason this hurts the game is because moderator and inverse moderator are included in the index, and therefore if you do not own them before this patch was released, or if you just didn't own them at all, you can no longer get them in this index, and therefore those entries are completely gone. So even if you now trade for them, you cannot get them. Again, at the time of this recording, that is a fact. That is 100% true, was confirmed by the developers and the mods. It could change. I don't know. This is a really... This knocks this completely down to like a 2 out of 10. If they fixed all of the issues, they got rid of mod and inverse mod, they got rid of all the unobtainable shinies, and they fixed it so that you can't alt abuse, but you can still reap the rewards from your actual account, and they hammer down on alt abusing, I genuinely think that this is like a 9 out of 10. But unfortunately it's not, because it's glitched, and it's the unobtainable units just push it over the edge, unfortunately. And therefore, I do think it's like a 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10 at the moment. So, until the change happens, and until they fix it, I'm unfortunately saying this is a very controversial change, and I do not agree with it. But when it's changed, I think it's an amazing update for one reason and one reason only, other than the index reasons that I already said, and that is summon luck. So, very, very briefly, I don't want to go into this too much, but if you complete sets in this index, as you can see, not these ones, these ones do count. As you can see, if I get every single normal index noob in the game by killing them all and getting the book, I get a 0.25 permanent buff to my summon luck. And obviously this goes to elites, this goes to mini bosses, this goes to final bosses, and normal bosses, and then it also translates to the units that you get. So uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, mythic, secret, and exclusive. Although, well, actually no, it doesn't include exclusive, sorry. Exclusive does not count. But all the way up until secret does. Same with the shinies. All the way up until secret, you get summon luck. and it all stacks, and it means that the more sets you complete, the luckier you are in summons. Add a T5 luck potion to it, which you can farm from the past crate, you're looking at a lot of secrets. This is a controversial change to some people because they do think that the economy is going to be ruined by it. I think the normal economy will, like normal Jug, normal King, normal Zenith. When it comes to retro units, because they're going to be leaving next week, as far as we know, I don't think this is too much of an issue. I think event banners are always going to be protected because they will leave eventually, meaning that no matter how many exist in the market, you will no longer be able to obtain them at some point, and therefore it will protect the economy in some fashion. Personally, I think it's an amazing change. I do think that the luck can sometimes be really, really bad. You could literally create an account tomorrow and get a secret within the first 10 summons. But me, unfortunately, I've had to go all the way to pity, and now I'm already halfway through another pity, and I've got permanent luck boosts on, and I use T5 potions whenever I summon. So you can kind of see where I'm going with it, especially with how long it takes sometimes to grind coins, because looking for teams is really difficult if you don't have good units. So I do think it's a positive change. I do think it helps people get secrets and break into like the mid to end game teams. That I like. What I don't like is the fact that, again, you cannot obtain some of the units, meaning that some of the luck is permanently gone and you cannot get it at the moment. And then on top of that also, because of the alt abuse at the minute, it means that the values are going to plummet as way harder, or they were plummeting, because of the fact that you could get so many gems. You could just buy, you could buy the units. You could summon the units with loads of alts. It was just a mess. It is a mess at the minute. And I think the Index, with the proper care, can really change this game for the better. And I know that the developers are working hard on fixing this. So I don't want this video to all be hate. I do think there are really good changes, and I think the Index is a really good idea. But I do think that there needs to be drastic changes as soon as possible. And again, if the developers end up watching this, I don't know if they will. They probably won't. But if they do, I just want them to know that we all appreciate what they're doing. We all respect what they're doing. I think they're doing an amazing job with the game. People might think otherwise. It's personal opinion. It's your prerogative. If you want to think that they're doing a bad job, that's personal. That's personal. It's not my opinion. I think they're doing a good job with it. And I think that with the right amount of care now to rectify these issues and future thought process to go into it, and more testing, definitely, especially because you've got 2 weeks to do updates now. A lot more testing, and you could have in your hands a really, really good fix for all of this, and a really good game template going forward. And I think that if they do this, it's fine. So overall, this update, because of the negatives but also because of the positives, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I do think it's a good update. I just think that there's problems with it. I think that there's issues that are still not yet rectified, and it's been out for at least over a day now, and there's still nothing. Well, actually, no. At the time of this recording, it's actually not been out for a day, but there's still not been any implementations. There've just been preventions in bug patches and preventions of ruining the market, but there's actually no gain to get the unobtainables yet. So I do think that is a problem still. The fact that we're nearly 24 hours into the update, but I've said that. I think 5 out of 10. However, if they update the changes that I've pointed out, the negatives, I genuinely think this could be an 8 out of 10 update, and I'm really excited for when Retro Banner gets dropped next week, I believe, so that we can get the retro units up in value again from the plummet that they've gone through just, and then also a massive pass shut off so that we can get a new pass, new unit, and enjoy the game a lot more. But that's my take on it, everyone. I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this update. Is there things that you like? Is there things that you don't like? And just be respectful. Obviously, again, these are my opinions. This is not facts. This is just my opinions on everything. So please be respectful in the comments to myself and to anyone else that comments. It is all opinion based and not factual. But that's the end of this video. I really do appreciate you all for watching this far into it. If you have enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button so we can get to 125 subs so that we can do the massive giveaway. I believe it's a Retro Zenith, so it's definitely worth it. especially before next week. And if you really, really like the video, please share it with all of your friends and family so that we can get the word out. All of my social links, again, will be in the description. My Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, my Twitch, I don't know if I just said that, but my Twitch, and also the any sort of links that are appropriate for you guys to join the community. We do have an active Discord. We would love for you to come along. It's an amazing Discord. We always post updates. We're always chatting and having a laugh, and we're always willing to help people. And the last thing, they're not sponsored again, but VVX, I'll leave a link in the description for their website. Please go check them out. They've got trade ads, they've got website talking chats. They've also got value lists, tier lists, and much more coming soon. They're definitely the most reliable tier list out there and value list. And you will definitely need them at some point if you're looking to be serious in games that have values, because there are a lot of scammers out there. So in order to protect yourself, make sure you go and check them out. I'll leave the link in the description. But thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you all. Take care and stay crispy.